we're going to be tying a woolly bugger, sort of, in a different way. I mean, I tie him with these eyes and a little bit extra weight, and they're tied sort of like a jig or like a clouser. Um, this is my favorite pattern to fish for crappies, to be honest with you. If you know of a good crappie spot in Minnesota, this is a good fly to tie. But I'm going to try and tie it in chartreuse instead of white. I've already tied a small handful of white ones today, and I just figured for the video, I'll tie one up in chartreuse with some of these Cabela's lead eyes. You could use any sort of weighted eyes. These, honestly, are from a pole chain of an old lamp that I took apart, so I had the extra bead chain eyes just laying around, and I would clip them out with the pliers. So you don't have to go all the way to the store all the time to get your special ingredients. Sometimes the stuff you have around the house works just fine. But so I have some weighted wire. This happens to be some lead, but it is a 2.0 or a .2, .020, I'm sorry. But yeah, we're just going to cover the shank of the hook, press it, and just get as much weight on this as possible. I mean, we're going to leave a small area up front for our eyes, but that should only be about 20 to 25% of the hook. So once you have that all established, go ahead and pop that off. Alright, and we're just going to, my thread here isn't even threaded. This bobbin is, though. We'll go with this. And if you have a long tag, don't worry about it. I like having tag material anytime I do the wire, because you can just really work it over, and you have a piece of friction having that tag end of thread over it. You don't just spin your thread up over the lead and have absolutely no traction. It helps too that this uni thread is already waxed, so it's a pretty good product. It's a 220 denier, but I'm just being lazy and using what I already had in a bobbin. I do have some chartreuse thread. I should have probably picked that, but this will be fine. The thread's only really going to show up by the eyes in the head area anyway, so you don't really have to worry about it too much. Sometimes I like having different thread colors that I can identify in the stream, like a hot pink or a blaze orange. But so I have some marabou. This looks like ostrich marabou, but any marabou will be just fine. I'm just going to take a nice pinch off the side of the feather, cut away any sort of this quill material. I don't have a scissors, but I could just tear that out, and I did tear it out. Alright. That's looking good. We are going to want Alright, and we're back. I got a scissors and trimmed myself up just a little bit. I also got some wire. Going to lash this in. we're going to put some chenille in, work that down. Alright, now that I'm up top, I'm going to go ahead and throw a pair of eyes in. Alright, you want to do figure eights around this, or like go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It came undone, so that's why I went over it again. But if you can count and wrap one way, then the opposite way, then back up the shank and back down the shank, you can get these so solid you don't need any super glue, but they won't want to move at all. I mean, they wiggle a little bit still, but 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know if I need to really do it any more than what is present, because they don't want to twist or turn at all. So that's pretty good. All right, so now we're going to get behind the eye. And we are going to pick out a hackle feather. These are pretty long, but I think they'll work out just fine. And you want to strip away everything that is sort of that down coat, down pillow look-alike stuff. And then you can cut away the bottom half and maybe use that for, some marabou. I should say chickaboo for, if you're going to tie this pattern in size 14 or 16 or something like that with some micro eyes, bet you it would kill. It would take the sunfish and crappie like no tomorrow. Alright, tie it in, fold it over, do another couple of ties just to do extra security. And now we're going to come forward with the chenille. I'm going to do a half hitch loop, and if you have a rotary vise at home and you're following along, this is a good place do it. My wire is honestly some wire on a short little spool, and it's pretty thick, honestly. I don't know if it's really from the fly store. But anyway, we're going to take full advantage of having a rotary vise because I almost seldomly do, and I think it's fun every time I can. So we'll just spin this guy around, making sure to compress anything that's needed to be. We want all those chenille wraps touching. And then once we have it up by where we just tied in with the eye, maybe untangle your string from your feather and come in and swing behind the chenille and up and over at least 3 times. And then from there you can do whatever. But I would suggest at least 3 times, twice over. And then cut away excess without trimming away your string. Alright, now stroke the feather back. We do a few more wraps. And we're just going to follow the chenille channel with our hackle feather, like a woolly bugger you would do. This might be easier if I had used my hackle pliers, if you have one, but if you pinch it around the hook and chase it and follow it through, shouldn't have a problem either. We're going to counter wrap now with our wire. That'll hold your feather into place and make it strong. I'm just going to sweep all the fibers off the top of the head as I come forward with this last sort of loop. I'll sweep the bottom ones away from it as well, or just spin my vise and take the easy way out. All right, looking good. We're just going to capture everything with our thread. I mean, I did do a full turn with the copper wire, but after I put a couple thread wraps down, I don't know if you're even going to see the copper wire anymore, so it's up to you whether you want to even wrap it all the way around. I suppose you could pull it forward, do your thread wraps, and then pull it backwards too. But I like to do an actual wrap with the copper wire. I think it makes it much stronger. even though you don't really see it. So it's up to you. Let me know in the comments what you think and what you would do. I don't have any whip finish tool near me, so I'm just going to half hitch with my fingers, but you finish how you want to finish. If you use the end of a dubbing needle and spin your half hitches off that way, or actually have the whip finish tool and prefer to use that, you do you. I'm thinking this fly is gonna catch a lot of fish because I think it looks like a little perch. Once again, just let me know in the comments what you think about this fly and if you would like to fish it. Get outside, people.